let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you, and now you should be seeing my PowerPoint. Yes, can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes, I can see.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you. Perfect. So, okay, I think we can get started. So, today's lesson is going to be some useful travel vocabulary, and we're actually going to, if the computer decides to let me, yes, we're going to do, okay. So we're going to discuss some travel experiences, your travel experiences, and we're going to learn some useful travel vocabulary and also practice some conversations that we can have at the airport. So I think this can be quite useful, especially for those of you who really like to travel. So I would like to start with a bit of an activity to get us ready and to get some vocabulary that we maybe know out and ready for the lesson. So I'm going to give you a definition and the first letter of the word. And I would like you to just unmute yourselves and shout out the answer if you know it. So starting with the first one, this person flies an airplane.
Pilot.
And that is very correct. Yes, pilot. So that's our first word of today. But I've got more for you, don't worry. Then we've got, if a plane or when a plane is not in time, it's
Delayed.
That is very correct. Yes, we have delayed. So that's quite a bad thing to realize that your flight was delayed. Now, next one is a plane does this when it begins to fly.
Take off.
And that is also very correct. That's wonderful. But don't worry, I've got more for you. And we also have the seat on the side of the corridor on an air. And we have, sorry?
Yes,
Aisle seat. Yes, our amazing aisle seat. And that's actually an interesting one because we can see that in terms of pronunciation, the S is actually silent. So we do write it, but we don't pronounce it. Amazing. So I've got more for you, don't worry. And we have more and more people joining. Right, next one is, okay, I've got another word for baggage is
Luggage.
That is very correct. And our last word for today was luggage. Amazing. Yes. So this was just a little introduction for us to get started and see some useful vocabulary. Now we're going to actually start talking a bit about our travel experiences. So here I've got some questions for you. So I've got, do you like to travel by plane? And why or why not? And what was the longest flight you've ever taken? How was it? I know long flights can be very tiring sometimes. And your best holiday so far? And the next country you'd like to visit. So what I would like to do is I would like you to actually Anyone, feel free. We're going to start with the first question. And please just unmute yourselves and tell us if you like to travel by plane or not.
Okay, I see that everybody's a bit shy, so I think I will start.
Thank you very much.
All
We
right.
always need a person like this, so thank you.
All right, so do I like, yes, I do love to travel by plane. Actually, although I'm always worried of course I will be unlucky and the plane will just crash, but I try to be positive.
And we love
when
the
I'm positive,
positivity.
yeah, I find it very relaxing, and I always await the chance to fly, and it's not something that I always do. So when it happens, I'm always very happy, very love it.
That's amazing. Right, thank you very much. Now, do we have a person who doesn't like to travel by plane, who doesn't like to fly? So, anyone?
No one.
Well, that's amazing. That's beautiful. Right. We still have more people joining. That's wonderful. Now, the longest flight. This time I'll start, and I think my longest flight was either from Rome to Adelaide, Australia, or from Malta to Chile. So either or, I'm not quite sure. Both of them were around 20, 24 or more hours. So someone else would like to share the longest flight with us.
And me, California.
Ooh.
It was my longest flight. It was beautiful, beautiful.
I can imagine the views from that flight, especially if you were lucky enough to have a window seat. That must have been amazing. And how many hours, more or less, if I may ask?
About 14 hours from Rome. Oh yeah, 14 hours about there.
That's
And
quite
it was
long.
beautiful. It was worth it. It was worth it. I would go back there if I had the money. If I had a lot of money. Maybe when I win the lotto, I'm gonna go there.
Hopefully, so keep going. So let's see, we're all here hoping you win the lotto.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. And anyone else with very long flights?
Mine, it was when I fly to Buenos Aires from London. I remember, I think 15 hours. And it was very long, but exciting because I would like to see Buenos Aires, and the fly is, of course, the path that you can arrive there. So I know, and it's not so important, but it was very long.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. So was it one flight, or did you have a connection as well?
The first flight was from Bologna to London, and then I take the second 4 hours after, and yeah, long day.
Very long day, right?
Yes.
But I understand, I feel you, because when I went to Chile, actually from Malta, I had to take 4 different flights. So Malta to Rome, Rome to Paris, Paris to Santiago del Chile, and then from there another domestic flight to get to the city I was staying at. So, whew, very long.
Wow. Yes.
Monza?
Sorry?
Monza? You starting on Monza?
So,
I'm near, I live near Monza.
But not Monza in Italy. There is this small island,
Oh,
Malta,
okay.
near Sicily. But Yes, so no, not Monza, sorry.
Okay, okay.
I've actually never been to Monza, but hopefully
Okay.
I'll get to visit it in the future. So my next holiday, next time I come to Italy, is going to be
You're
Monza.
welcome.
So I've heard it's a beautiful place. So my next holiday. How about your best holiday so far? Anyone with a wonderful holiday experiences you would like to share with us?
My oh, sorry.
Yes, please.
Hello, my best holiday, I think it was not a holiday, but Erasmus, a semester in Austria, in Vienna, the capital, and was really, really beautiful and give me the passion to travel around the world more often. And from there, I start to travel like 3 or 4 holiday a year.
Oh, that's amazing. So it was kind of, it inspired you to travel more.
Yes, yes. Now I work for have the money to travel more.
That's wonderful. So we work as much as we can so we can travel, right?
Yes.
That's very lovely. Thank you very
Very
much.
true.
And I think someone else wanted to say something, so please.
Yes, I think that my best travel will be the next.
Ooh, lovely. Where are you going?
I plan to go to Japan at the end of April, more or less, from 19 to 25, 28. And I hope I like that country. I don't know nothing about this country, so I hope that I really like it. But
I'm
I travel
sure.
so in so many countries in the world, so I don't know. Maybe the best was Germany. Now the name is Germany. It's Myanmar. Now it's Myanmar. But when I went there, when I was very young, the name was still the English name, so Germany. And that was really amazing because the tourism was not so used, so we were obliged to stay there only 7 days instead of maybe spend more days over there, and it was really nice. It's amazing. It's amazing. What is amazing?
I'm sure. And yeah, the world is amazing and it's beautiful to be able to see as much of it as possible. So that's wonderful. And actually, with this, we also answered our last question. So let's see, more people for our last question. What's the next country you'd like to visit? For me, this is very tough. So let's see your ideas. Yeah, someone was saying something. Sorry, I interrupted you. Please continue.
Sorry. I'd like to visit United States because I want to know more about that country because it always interests me, and I want to visit that country because yes, it's interesting.
And I fully agree with you. It's also one of those I haven't visited yet. So I'd really love to visit it in the future. So fingers crossed. Hopefully we get to visit as many as we can. Amazing. So do we have one final victim who would like to tell us a bit more about the next country you would like to visit?
Me?
Please.
Yeah, I'd like to visit South Korea.
That must be beautiful. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed. So
Yeah, I hope.
hopefully that would be lovely. So thank you very much,
The
everyone.
Caribbean.
Whoa, yeah, who
Caribbean.
mentioned the Caribbean? Whew,
Yeah,
I hear a voice.
Jamaica.
So many
And,
beautiful places.
yeah, Jamaica, and also all I'd like to see to visit Tortuga Island. I'd like to see Tortuga Island. All those islands of pirates of the Caribbean, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about these islands, but never been. So I think it would be a wonderful experience, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have more people joining. Okay.
Hello.
So, what? Someone else? Yes, please.
Hello.
Hello.
I like to visit island because I like volcanoes and there is a lot of volcano.
Oh, and yes, Iceland is full of volcanoes, so I'm sure you'd love it. So fingers crossed. Good
Yeah.
luck.
Thank you.
Hopefully you get to visit Iceland as soon as possible. Amazing. Okay, so now we had a very lovely chat, so thank you all very much. Now, I prepared some useful vocabulary that you can use when traveling, especially at the airport. And I think it's time to have a look at it together. So, let's see. I've got more people joining. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Yes. So, I'm not going to tell you the words because that would be too easy. So, I'll be describing the words to you. And please, just when you realize that's the word, just shout it out. So our first word is the first place. When you arrive at the airport, you usually go to this place, give them your documents, and they give you the boarding pass.
Check-in.
Check-in desk.
Yes, so we have check-in desk, or it's also called check-in counter sometimes. So check-in counter is also correct. Wonderful. Now I have a bit of a tougher one this time. So the maximum, so we know that usually our suitcases, our luggage, there is a limit to the weight of our luggage. And that is called so the maximum weight. Oh, weight is good, but there is a very specific word to describe this maximum weight. The
limit weight.
Oh, that's quite good. So weight limit would be a good option. That is correct. People would definitely use that. But there is a very technical word. So, okay, let's go. I think I will tell you. I feel kind. So that is called baggage allowance. So
yes.
Many airlines usually would tell you that their baggage allowance, I think usually for a checked-in bag would be 23 kilos, I guess, I think, around that. And for the carry-on would be 10, usually. But I don't work for an airline, so I'm not 100% sure. Now, this is a bit easier. So for me at least, the most painful part, the one I really don't like, is when you have to go through this. And they check your bags, and they check that you don't have weapons, and they check you and sometimes your shoes or your baggage.
Safety control.
And yes, so there's many ways to call this: security check, security screening, and here I just wrote security. So you can also just call it security. So to go through security, I think this is the shortest and one of the most common ways to say it. Now, in the first part, we talked about the flight taking off. But what is the opposite?
Landing.
Yes. So to land or landing.
Land.
Very good. Yes, that's the opposite. So when the flight actually finishes. Wonderful. Now, I've got more for you. And the place where you go when it's almost time to get... Wait, sorry, I skipped one. So what happens if your flight is not there? Your flight won't be there.
Delayed.
So delayed is if it's going to arrive late. But if there is
Cancel
no
it.
flight at all,
Cancel it.
we
Delay.
Cancelled.
have cancelled. Cancelled. So in this case as well, as I was saying for I'll, we have one beautiful silent letter, because apparently English really loves silent letters for no reason. So I've got cancelled, and we also got what I was saying before is the place where you go when it's almost time to get on your plane.
Gate.
Yes, gate is correct. And we can also call it boarding gate. So, well, here we go. So we have our gate or boarding gate. And I've got two more for you. We talked about an aisle seat. But what is the opposite of an aisle seat?
Window.
Window seat.
Window seat.
Window seat. This was the easy one. But usually planes have 3 seats and 3 seats. So we've got aisle, window, and what is the other?
Middle. Middle
Yes,
seat.
middle seat.
Middle window.
Yes.
Middle.
And here also there is one pronunciation point I would like to see with everyone before we continue, and that is this word. So remember that with the word seat, we have a long E sound. So the same sound of when you say cheese for when you take pictures. So remember that when we say seat, you need to smile. Because if you don't smile and you say sit, then that is the verb, so the action, to sit. So you sit on a seat. Yeah, English is a crazy language. So, but that's a very useful thing. So you sit on a seat.
Seat.
And yes, amazing. So very important to smile when we pronounce this. Amazing job. All right, so we had a look at this vocabulary, but since we still have some time, I think it's officially time to put it in practice. So I prepared here as more activity for you. So let's go. Okay, still fighting with the computer. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to here we have a very short dialogue at the airport. So as we go through it, we're going to need some of the words we were talking about before to complete this beautiful dialogue. So we've got the first one, which is, excuse me, where is the
Gate.
gate?
Check-in desk.
Check-in desk.
Or timetable, where there's all the time.
Oh, okay. So you mean the screen, the one with information,
The screen.
the flight information screen or something. Yeah, that's a good point. But usually when the place where we check in is actually, as you were saying, the check-in desk or the check-in counter. Yes, because then next thing we have is I need to check in for my flight. Amazing. And it's over there opposite.
Right.
The security. The
So-
gate, maybe?
Security.
Yes. So I would say security, because usually the gate is always after security, after a long, long corridor, after a very long walk, or at least in Rome Fiumicino Airport, is quite a walk from the check-in counter to the gate. So yes, opposite security. Thank you very much. So now our very lucky passenger gets to the check-in desk, sorry, and goes, "Hi, I'd like to check in for my flight. Here's my ticket and passport. I would like
Window seat.
Window
seat.
Window seat.
yes,
Window seat.
and amazing. And yes, that's because we have I love the views from the plane, but if we didn't have the I love the views from the plane, then it would be it could be a middle seat. Well, I don't think anyone wants a middle seat. Aisle, maybe. And no problem, sir. Let me check if that's possible. Oh no, I'm sorry to inform that your flight is
Cancelled.
yes, cancelled. So wonderful. Yes, cancelled. And then we've got, because of bad weather, we can give you another flight for tonight. And our passenger is not very happy. So no way, I need to
Land.
Land.
yes.
Land.
Thank you. Yes, land. And that's actually wonderful. So now, before we continue, we still have some time, and we're going to be now discussing a bit some travel experiences. But I have a question for you. Window seat or aisle seat? What is your favorite?
Window
Window
We got, we got an artist as well. So,
I think
window
that it
seat.
depends from how many hours do you have to stay on the plane. If it's a short flight, maybe I would prefer the Windows one, while if it's long, I would prefer the other.
I think you have a very good point. I always prefer an aisle seat because I really like to stand and walk for a bit. So don't worry. And anyone else? Anyone who prefers a middle seat? Silence. I was expecting that. I
Yes,
think yeah, definitely no one. I think all my worst travel experiences were on a middle seat. So no one likes middle seat, right?
I prefer middle seat because I have two place for me.
Okay, so then it's more comfortable to get
More
middle
comfortable.
seat, which
Okay.
is quite nice. I think comfort is really the most important thing, especially on a long flight.
Yes.
Maybe
So,
it depends
yes.
with whom you're traveling with.
Aha, okay, there you have a very good point.
Yeah, because if you travel with your family, maybe the middle is okay. You can manage child, fiance, husband, or what else.
I
Is
think you
my
have
point.
and you have a very good point. If I had a child, the child would be in the middle seat. There you go, love, stay in the middle seat. But no, it's easier. So if you have two parents and then the child in the middle, it's easier, I think, also to keep the child behaving, let's say. So wonderful, really. And now is actually the time to share some of our stories and try to use this vocabulary in, let's say, by speaking, in practice, in a real life context. So, but let me give you one sentence, because I think when we talk about traveling, there are a lot of prepositions there. And sometimes prepositions in English can be quite tough, right? So there we got. So usually you fly, let's say, to or in Rome, for example. Which one?
To.
Yes.
To.
So you always fly to a place. Well, terrible circle.
To.
I'm very bad at drawing, in case you didn't realize. Okay, let's see if I can do a better circle. Okay, some improvement. So yes, you always fly to a place, but you can also say to fly into a place, in a sense, but well, that's a different story. Anyway, now I'm going to give you another one. So you land to, in, at a place.
In.
Which one? In.
At.
Oh, amazing. Yes, in is correct. And at is correct, but it depends. So you land in a city. So you land in Rome. But you land at Rome Fiumicino Airport. So in with a city, while we have at with the name of the airport. So these are always quite some useful preposition points that I think we always need. Okay, so what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to stop sharing my screen and stop recording.